We are looking at the effect of registration. After registration, in this court helicopter news, where we are dealing with the question of chapter 300 of the laws of Kenya, what do you mean registration? After registration, you are given a title deed. In simple terms, what does a title deed mean? The title deed in section 24 means that the person having it has absolute right over that land. He can use it the way he wants it. He can deal with that land without consulting any other person. So that is the first thing that a title deed, if given by the registrar, gives that in section 25, the rights of a proprietor. He can deal with the interests of that land the way he wants. He can sell it, he can lease it, he can charge it to the bank, he can donate it, he can give it as a gift. If you have your side chick, you can transfer that land to her because the land is now yours. That is as per section 25. Then that certificate, the title deed under section 26, is to be held as conclusive evidence of proprietorship. That you are the proprietor. You are not only carrying that certificate as a trustee of somebody. You are not carrying that certificate as a safekeeper. You are carrying it as the proprietor. The certificate of title makes you a proprietor, an owner of that title, a beneficial owner of that land. And that's what I'm saying. You can decide to give your girlfriend, you can decide to give your mother, you can decide to give your workmate. It is your property now. And you can use it the way you want it to be. You can take it to the bank and charge it. Section 27 says that property, remember, if you are transferring that property, all properties called land must be paid for. That is called consideration. If you give it as a gift, then you have not transferred that land based on consideration. That is what we are saying. There must be consideration. So when you buy land, you must ensure that you pay for that land. There is no way you can buy land without paying. That is section 27. Section 28 is a new issue of overriding interests. When you buy land, do you know there is what is called overriding interests? You are the owner. You have the title deed, but there are some rights that are superior than your title deed. Can you imagine? The land is yours. You are paid 10 million, but they are overriding interests. Listen to this very carefully, because here is where people cry. What are overriding interests? For example, in section 28, the land you have bought, is it subject to trusts, including customary trusts? What does that mean? You bought land in Mijikenda, and the Kaya people, the elders, come to worship there from the time of Jesus Christ. And you want to chase them. You will not chase them. The Njurinjeke, where they go to pray, that land is called, if you bought that land, those are customary trusts. That the land belongs to the customs of that land. So when you buy, be sure you know that there are no customary trusts there. 2, the rights of way. Rights of way and rights of water. The villagers have been using that way to go and pick water from the river. And you buy that land. Then you want to fence and say, you will not pass over my land. My friend, the villagers have a bigger right because you found them there. By the time you are buying land, you found it a right of way. The animals use that road to go and drink water. The wild animals pass there during the migration to Serengeti, to Masai Mara. Then you want to block it. The law will not allow. You found those wild animals using that road, the rights of way. Important. Then we have the natural light. This light. You cannot block light and say this is my land. So that you build and put your neighbor who is next door not to see light. What does this mean? Skyscrapers. You buy land and you want to buy a skyscraper of 1,000 floors. You don't allow this person down here to have vitamin D sunlight. You lose it. The right of light. Very interesting. Then we have also air, water, and others. Is it where water passes? Is it obstructing air? Your title deed is inferior to those rights. So, any of these, the electric supply lines, that is number E, the wayleaves, is this land, was it paid for by government and earmarked for wayleaves? Wayleaves ni zile wire za stima zinapita juu. If they had been paid for, you cannot build there. 2, if Kenya Power wants to take your land now, like Vivian's neighbor or relative, they must compensate you. It is called compulsory acquisition, which will deal with it. The question about telephone lines and telegraph lines, poles, pipeline, aqueducts, canals, dams erected, all these things you must be aware before you buy. Overriding interests were there before you came there. You cannot buy land. And most of the Americans, most of the Kenyan people in the diaspora, mumenunuliwa shamba where overriding interests are there. And that is why when you come back at retire from the US, you come here, you are told this land, there is a wayleave existing. You can't build here. Did you check this overriding interests before you buy land? Wakili Danstan Omari brings you very, very serious issues about the issues about land. Different types of ownership documents. You can own land by a letter of allotment. A letter of allotment is issued by the municipal counties, by the Nairobi County government. It has a duration under which you have that land. You will not get a title deed. You'll get a letter of allotment. You will also get a document called a lease. A lease is also a document for you to show ownership of land. The lease, originally, leases were 999 years. Under the Constitution of Kenya, a lease now takes 99 years. The diaspora people, you have come to buy land in Kileleshu. The person selling you that land was given a lease of 99 years. The lease is remaining 3 years. He does not disclose to you that the only interest he's selling to you is 3 years. You buy land, you say this is your home. In 3 years, you get a notice from the county government of Nairobi that the lease is expiring next week and they are not going to renew that lease. Carry your takataka, move out. You start now making noise. People who are buying apartments all over Nairobi, have you checked what is the remainder of the lease? You might be buying an apartment thinking that you have bought an apartment for life. The maximum number of years you have for that apartment is 99. If the lease was renewed last week. Most of the leases in Nairobi have expired and they have not been renewed. Failure to renew, the land returns back to the county government. Have you bought land from the government under the GTA and they have given you lease? Also, the lease is 99 years. Then we have the freehold land. The freehold land is where you get a title deed. A title deed is permanent. You can sell it. There's no time limit. Do you know in an allotment? Do you know in a lease in a town? Do you know you cannot bury somebody there? Imagine, it is your land, but you're not allowed to bury somebody there. In lands where there is an allotment, in lands where there is a lease, you take your beloved ones to cemeteries. You take them to Langata. But in freehold land, you bury your people at home. The land in Geshagi, the rural villages, that land is absolute. That is the land we call freehold. All these titles are registered by the land registrar. Wakili Danstan Omari, bringing you live as it unfolds from Court Helicopter News. We shall proceed on the 5th and 6th final episode on the question of land. Wakili Danstan Omari, thank you very much.